You know, in Islamic history, there are some figures whose stories are just legendary. And today, we're diving into one of the biggest, Hazrat Ali. He carried two incredible titles, one for being a supreme warrior and the other for having immense wisdom. So yeah, let's get right into this remarkable story. Just think about that for a second. This single line says it all. It's not just saying he was brave, it's saying he was the gold standard. He was the cousin and son-in-law of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but his legend was really forged in these moments of almost impossible courage. And this right here is what makes him so fascinating. On one side, you have the Lion of Allah, this warrior who was simply unmatched. But on the other, he was the gate of knowledge, praised by the Prophet himself as the very doorway to deep wisdom and strategy. It's this unbelievable mix of a brilliant mind and a divinely powered body that really defines who he was. So you have to ask, right? Where did that power actually come from? Was it just pure talent, intense training, or was it something deeper? Well, to find that answer, we need to go to one of the most critical moments in early Islamic history. Okay, picture this. The year is 627 AD. The Muslim community in Medina is basically facing annihilation. A huge coalition of tribes has come together with one single goal: to wipe them off the map. This all went down at what we now call the Battle of the Trench. Just look at those numbers. The defenders were outnumbered, and not by a little. We're talking more than 3-1. Facing a 10,000-strong army, the 3,000 Muslims had to get creative. They dug this massive trench around Medina, a strategy that was totally unheard of in Arabian warfare at the time. For weeks, nobody could get the upper hand. And then, the enemy sends out their champion. His name was Amr bin Murhab, a total legend whose reputation alone was enough to cause fear. They said he was as good as 1,000 soldiers in a fight. Somehow, he gets across the trench and stands there, challenging the entire Muslim army. Can you imagine the scene? This giant of a warrior is taunting them, mocking their faith right to their faces. The challenge just hangs in the air, and even the toughest, most experienced veterans are hesitating. The pressure must have been unbearable. But in that deafening silence, when everyone else was frozen, one young man refused to be scared. And this is where the whole story pivots. Ali, who's only 23 years old at this point, just stands up and says, "I'll fight him." The Prophet, probably seeing how young he is, tells him to sit down. Amr taunts the army again. And what does Ali do? He stands up again. The Prophet tells him to sit again. But after the third taunt, Ali is on his feet for a third time, his resolve just as strong. And this time, the Prophet gives him the nod. As Ali walks onto the battlefield, he declares exactly who he is. He shouts a name his mother gave him, Haider-e-Karar. It means the repeatedly attacking lion. He wasn't just some soldier, you see. He was a force of nature, and he was about to prove it. And then, in this incredibly powerful moment of trust, the Prophet Muhammad gives Ali his own legendary sword, Zulfiqar. This wasn't just handing over a weapon. It was a symbol of divine blessing, a sign of the Prophet's complete faith in this young warrior. The duel? It was over in a flash. Amr swung first, and his blow was so hard it actually shattered Ali's shield. But Ali's counterattack? It was something else. With a single devastating strike from Zulfiqar, he sliced right through Amr's shield, his steel helmet, and his body. In an instant, it was over. And just like that, the morale of the 10,000-strong army was completely broken. And right here, in what Ali said to his opponent, we find the real source of his power. It wasn't just his skill or his strength. It was his identity, his unwavering faith as a slave of the Lord of Muhammad. That's where his courage came from. But if you think that story's wild, hold on. This next one, at the Fortress of Khaybar, pushes the limits of what seems humanly possible and really points to a divine source for his power. What's so amazing is the contrast in his life. Ali lived a really simple ascetic life. I mean, he would often fast for days on end, sometimes just breaking his fast with water. But at the same time, he was performing these superhuman feats. His power clearly wasn't coming from a big diet or an easy life. It was flowing directly from his spiritual discipline and his incredible faith. Just to give you a sense of his strength, let's talk about the Fortress of Khaybar. The main gate was so ridiculously huge and heavy, it took 70 men to move it. 70! Now get this. On the day of the assault, Ali had a serious eye infection and could barely see. The Prophet prayed over him, and miraculously he was healed. Fueled by that blessing, Ali walks up to the fortress and with his bare hands rips that 70-man gate right off its hinges and uses it as a shield, an act that by any measure is just impossible for a normal person. So what do we take away from these unbelievable stories? They're way more than just historical accounts. They are the foundation of a legacy that continues to inspire people to this day. And this famous saying from the Prophet Muhammad just brings everything full circle. Ali wasn't just the strongest guy around, he was their intellectual and spiritual cornerstone. His physical power was perfectly matched by his incredible wisdom. When you pull back and look at the whole person, you see this complete character. He had the courage of a lion, but the humility of a servant, the discipline of an ascetic, but the mind of a master strategist. And every bit of it was driven by this absolute sincerity to God. Ultimately, his life gives us a pretty clear answer to our first question. It shows that true, lasting power isn't just about the body. It's this incredible fusion of physical strength, intellectual brilliance, and most importantly, spiritual conviction. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In a world that so often separates these things, the life of Hazrat Ali really makes you rethink it all. Where does our own strength really come from? Is it our body, our mind, or our soul? Maybe the real answer is in finding the balance between all three.